Shalom, shalom. My name is Brother Tazabah, and I'm out of Atlanta, Georgia. And Lord willing, this lesson I'm getting ready to do is edifying. According to prophecy, America's in the Bible as Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom, spiritual Egypt, Nineveh, you know, because of what? Sodomy, that's disgusting, unlawful sexual acts, and Egypt because of what? Much oppression. Okay? Before I get started with this lesson, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechai HaKodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. Shalom wa barakim. Peace, love, and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, the men that follow Great Millstone, GMS. Okay? America is on his last leg, man. Esau end is the beginning of Jacob. And, currently in these last days, the Lord is fulfilling prophecy. And you're seeing a lot of major retail stores are closing. In this article, in this lesson, in this video, this particular video that we get ready to watch, this guy, Edward Reports. I never saw this guy before, but checking out his video and linking it with the spirit, linking it with prophecy. Okay, because on some kind of level, people are waking up to the idea that Babylon America is giving it's something ain't right. People are starting to see the economic disasters unfold. They may not necessarily have the truth, but they're able to discern that this place is going down. And in this video, this guy here, I believe his name is Edward, I'm not sure. He breaks down the amount of job loss just in 2025 alone, and how many people, everybody is affected. Many people have lost their jobs. Everybody is affected some kind of way, because this system is going down. Now, we living in a time where Esau Edom is about, to make a couple of moves, man. With the implementation of the C-HIP, the insurrection against the men that fear the Lord. Also what's going to happen, the Lord is going to raise up the Medes, which are the Russians, against Babylon America. Okay, you're starting to see things jump out, a prophecy jump off the page. Okay, you have what they call an assassination of Charlie Kirk, and that's going to stir up the pot, man. People have lost their jobs speaking on that situation. And what they're going to do is attack the freedom of speech. A lot of people are about to find out that your freedom was an illusion the whole time. And that's how the serpent get down. That's how he do. That's what the serpent does. The serpent speak with a forked tongue. He'll say one thing and do another. And that's what's going on. This we know through the spirit. If you've been paying attention to the prophets, you will understand that the devil is coming down with great wrath pursuant to Revelations 12 and 12. You'll understand that this is the time where Jacob is about to see great tribulation. And, economically, what do you see? A mass layoff of Americans, man. Speaking about, you Israelite women, a lot of you women lost jobs this year, man. Mass job cuts is what this video is going to go into, and how they already see the downfall. So I haven't watched the whole video through, but I caught a glimpse of it. And the first few minutes of the video, precepts popped up in my head, man. So I want to share these precepts, and Lord willing, the elect is edified through us doing the work of the Heavenly Father, giving you warning, letting you know what's going on. And right now, the elect is building the spirits to be able to understand and deal with, the things to come in the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Shai. And by the way, Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father. His only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai, which is in the Lasha 1 Kodash. Lasha 1 Kodash, which means holy tongue. Lasha 1 Kodash, the holy language, man, that was given unto us. It was that language was given unto us so that we may call upon the name of the Lord, pursuing the Zephaniah, is it 3 and 9? I will return or restore to them a pure language so they may call upon me, roughly paraphrasing. And the prophets are raised up in these last days to return to the Heavenly Father, so the elect will be delivered. We're living in a time of deliverance. Jacob is about to be delivered very soon. Okay, and when I say Jacob, I'm speaking about the elect of the Israelites, the seed of Jacob. The elect of the seed of Jacob is going to be delivered, pursuing to Luke 1 and 68. Delivered from who? The hands of our enemies. This place, America, which is known in the Bible as Babylon going down, is a sign that the Lord is about to deliver his scattered seed around the world. Okay? So let's, go through this video, and Lord willing, he give me more precepts to unpack.
My job yesterday, due to budget reasons, they didn't want to let me go, but none of us had a choice in it. It was out of our control. It's really sad. I'm still feeling the feel.
Now this is a young lady. She could be an Israelite, in spirit. This is not a color thing. It's not the Israelites nowadays is not about a color thing. Okay, the Lord said his people is as a speckled bird. So the average Israelite is not going to look like this gentleman that you see to the right of my screen, to my right. Or they're not going. All the Israelites are not going to look like Kodak Black or Wesley Snipes or Shaq. Okay. Over time, we were scattered into all these different nations around the world, and what happened was we mixed and mingled our seed among the nations. So not every Israelite is going to look like a so-called Negro. So she could be an Edomite, she could be an Israelite, Only the Lord knows. Through the Spirit, you can know, but, truly, the Lord is the one that's going to gather the wheat and separate the tares. Okay? So she said that she lost her job due to budgeting reasons, okay? Because a lot of companies cannot afford to keep mass employees as they once were. And you might go to a shift, for like Walmart or Target or something like that, and they may have about 200 workers, or they may have 50 workers per shift. But now that number's being reduced, okay, and they're putting more work on the few that are hired, the few that are working. Why? Because there's a disruption in the import industry. There's an import, and there's also things are going on worldwide with tariffs are being put on America, and also America putting tariffs on other countries. So there's a tariff war that's going to play a very vital role in bringing America to its knees. Okay, so we're witnessing a economic disaster. And on my way, I'm scrolling about my day, doing what I need to do, and I stumbled upon a Kroger's that was open for a very long time. And all of a sudden, I ride past and it's desolate. It looks like it's not one single soul in the building. They removed all the signs, they cleaned the store out, and that Kroger's been there for a while. But we're witnessing a major shutdown, which means there's going to be a loss of jobs. And people are going to boil over. People are going to get desperate. People are going to get anxious to the point where they're going to want to find out what the hell is going on. Because it's going to get deadly out here. It's going to get so bad that it's going to bring forth an uprising in the people. You're going to have the government against the civilians. You're going to have troops transporting people through the street. It's going to get bad. Okay? But something got to happen, right? A order have to be, established, right, out of chaos. Esau the one that's staging both sides. The chaos and the order. He knows that some kind of way he got to do something to get a reaction out of people. Okay? And the reaction is not going to be a pleasant reaction. He already knows that. But he also have a plan leading right behind it. And a lot of people are going to find, a lot of Americans are going to find out their freedom that they once thought they had is just an illusion. Okay? Because this man is going to write some decrees that are draconian. Okay? And people are going to realize instantly that, hey man, I don't have freedom like I thought I did. This place is all about trickery. It's all about witchcraft and deception and lies. This is why it's important to be plugged into the spirit, because you're able to see clear. See, that's the difference between the 2/3 and the elect. They see things two different ways. Lord willing, I am a part of that number, because if you see things clearly, and you're doing the work of the Lord and being patient, and being, fervent in this truth, guess what? You can receive salvation at the hand of Yahweh Shai. So we're looking forward for economic collapse. We're looking forward for Esau Edom to push his C-hip agenda. We're looking forward for these places, all the doors being shut in the streets, as it would say in Ecclesiastes chapter 12. We're looking forward, right? Because we understand that Esau end is Jacob beginning. Okay, let's keep going.
I loved this job, loved, my coworkers and my students, and I'm just gonna miss my students. I didn't get to say goodbye to them, but I hope they do well. I hope they don't forget me. It's not fun. I feel so bad. I'm like this gray cloud. Like, this sucks. Like, I'm trying not to cry. Yesterday I just played video games all day because I'm like, oh well, at least I'm home and I get to do this. But even then I just started feeling sad. Like, why am I just sitting here playing video games when I could have been at work and, helping my students learn more things, but I can't do that anymore. Job market sucks, the economy sucks. This is gonna affect everyone. I was even telling, Chaz this because he's had experience with this too, but I'm like, this is just going to be the new normal. I think we're just going to see, and we have been seeing, like, people getting laid off, people getting fired, like, all of these things, like, and of course, like, people in our parents' generation are like not understanding, and they're like, well, there must be something you're doing that's wrong.
I keep hearing this too. I know we have a lot of seasoned people in our audience. I'm not going to call you older, but was it like this when y'all were growing up? And what is the sentiment that you hear from younger millennials, Gen Z, about the current state of the job market? Do you guys have any sympathy for them, or do you think they just need to buck up and this is just life and they're the soft snowflake generation? That's what.
And as you can hear, do they have any sympathy for them? The compassion in this society is gone. These people are basically heartless, cold-hearted, and they're without understanding. Here it is. You have a young lady here. She lost her job, and basically her elders above her, is basically trolling her, getting on her about not having a job. But some people don't understand what's going on. They can perceive that there are no jobs, that this person don't have a job. They can perceive that, but they don't understand the way we understand what's going on. So the majority of these Americans are without compassion. They don't have because they don't have the eyesight to see what's really going on, behind the lens, man. Because they've been shut off in the spirit. She feel real bad about not having a job, but hey, man, we in the spirit, man, that we don't really care about jobs like that. We understand what this place is coming to. Okay, so you have to completely, detach from this world, man. We don't look to hold on to a job in the time that this man is going to push his seat here. He's perfected his AI for a reason, to be able to replace you. And people becoming more aware of that, but they, in the back of their mind, they really don't believe that they're going to be replaced. They really don't believe that, they're going to be affected, by this economic crisis that's going on. That's why there's a need, if you can hear this message, to cling to the Lord, because he's your only hope. He's your only help that can get you out of the things that people are getting ready to face in America. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is the only way. First starting by what? Giving you this word so that you may eat this roll, and that it may, sit in your la'ah spiritually. So when the time of heaviness come, when it get very dark out in these streets of Babylon, the Rekakodah should be with you, pursuing the Isaiah 33:6. Wisdom and knowledge will be the stability, not your jobs, not your money that you have in the bank. We understand that the bank is collapsing, there's no security really in America, man. There's no real security. All that security was an illusion, man. Your security is dedicated, is being held by the wicked one, man. But there's also a level of security in the Lord too, man. See, this security that Esau Edom sells you, that's a false pseudo security, man. He give you the illusion that your victuals is secure, your bank account is secure, your house is secure, your in the name of charging you fees. Okay, but see, what about when this same man put heavy taxes on that loaf of bread, heavy taxes, right? When he tell you to, give me your right hand, give me your forehead, okay? These are times that men gonna lean on Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, the elect. The Lord told us to be pilgrims of the earth. In that time, we should, be like pilgrims. of the earth, meaning going from one place to another, moving around. Why? Because a great insurrection is getting ready to come upon the men that fear the Lord. So we don't have the idea that we're going to remain in these houses, these apartments, these condos, wherever the Lord got you in, is a temporary situation. And that was for you to be able to be stable enough to build up your spirit. You will have a place to study this truth, you know. And then, if you're a brother and you're part of the elect and you got family, hey, if the Most High put it on her mind to be obedient, she'll stay with you and be safe. But on the other hand, you got to think about it. What if she flipped? What if? What if the Lord just desired to save you? What are you going to do, right? Because if you're a part of the elect, then you know to cling to the Lord no matter what. Nothing should separate you from the love of the Most High, Let's keep going.
They're hearing, or I should say, we are hearing. But what are you guys actually saying? Let's discuss it in the comments below.
It's wrong or this. I'm like, no, just the job market sucks. The economy sucks.
Because of that, and the fact that the enterprise continually reassesses our workforce needs, I'm notifying you today that we need to reduce our staffing and your positions will be eliminated. I'm notifying you today, but however, you will be paid through the employment termination date, which is May 13th. Following our conversation today, you're going to be getting a lot more information.
So we just got news that our school is making major budget cuts for next school year. And when I say major budget cuts, I mean major budget cuts. I'm only on my third year of teaching, but the budget cuts that they're making next year are going to impact me so significantly that I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay in my apartment or buy groceries or even continue to build my savings account right now. And I'm very, very worried.
Did you hear that? You see that? The lifestyle that people have been living for so long, right? Is now being compromised because of major budget cuts. You already have a great number that are out here, homeless, living in their cars, living in tents, living under a bridge, nowhere to go. Because, there are no jobs, okay? And I myself work for the school system as a driver, and the way we get paid is now shifted. See, this is the great time. This is the time of shifting. America is shifting economically, man. Don't be surprised when people who are making $20 or $30 an hour being cut back to $13 an hour, maybe 4 hours a day. Trump no longer want Americans to get over 30 hours a week. Things are going to get tough. Things are going to get real tough, man. And who's going to be affected the most? Women.
And I'm trying not to cry because I have a
Trying not to cry. See, this showed you that the woman is the weaker vessel, man. I've never met a brother in this truth cry because they, got laid off or, they got fired, man. Jake and Spirit naturally, man, fuck that job. Man, we don't give a damn about no job here. Nothing here belongs to us, man. Nothing here belongs to us, man. You can't hold on to this lifestyle, man. But it's going to get very bad for you Americans, man, that love this place, man.
period class coming in about 30 minutes. This is the reality of being a teacher and being underpaid and being underfunded, and I don't know what to...
Working in the school system, I can attest to all of us. Working in the school system, I can attest to that we all are underpaid. We're not making what we're supposed to be making. I live in the South. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. The school system here is basically crap, man. They don't want to pay you, man. you know? So things are getting ready. Now you having major budget cuts, major layoffs. People about to fold.
To do, and I'm panicking, and I'm only 24 years old. I'm on my third year of teaching, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to survive next year.
Hi. So I just got laid off from my work.
Feel like we got to suffer through.
Guys, someone just got $200,000 for their car accident settlement by calling Top Dog. I'm gonna share my car accident story.
Hi. So I just got laid off from my work like 30 minutes ago. My company didn't announce that they were gonna do this, and they didn't even say that, you know, we were in a not good place. So this was so sudden because it was just literally the end of the day, and this happened. They messaged me saying like, hey, can you get on a call with the leaders? And I was just like, okay. I didn't know why. I was thinking like, did I do something wrong? Am I in trouble? And they just started off saying how they don't want to be in this position, and that's when I thought, oh, something is really wrong here. And they said how it's not easy for them, but the company's not doing well, so they needed to make some cuts. And fortunately, I was one of the people who had to get laid off. Literally like a month or two ago, I was watching a video of this girl getting laid off and her talking about it and her crying, and I just thought, dang, that sucks. Like, I hope that's not me one day, but it literally happened to me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess everyone's in a tough place right now, not only like the tech field, but where I'm in like the creative agency field. Like,
and let me say this through the spirit, man. You women, man, you know what's gonna get you women back in check? Jacob's trouble, because you weak. We're the weakest vessel, man. You lose your job, you cry, you fold up, and you start doing things that are outside the norm to survive. Because women know how to run, man. But there's only so far you can run, you know, with the judgment the Lord, you know, have coming to this place. Ain't but so far you can run. You're going to have to face it. You know, all the backlash and all the, you know, insults that you gave men, all the damage, you know, splitting up the families and doing all manner of wickedness. This is how you're going to pay. You're going to pay at the end with your life, or either you're going to have to consider a man for salvation. But the majority of you women, you're not going to survive it anyway, because of that Lord harden your heart to the point to where, you know, you won't humble down. So the Lord have to script you, like they say in Isaiah 32, script you and make you bear. You have to be script to nothing. And see, that's how you humble a nigga, man. That's how the average Americans are going to be humbled, being stripped to down to nothing. Stripped down to nothing, man. Then you'll start looking for some help, you know. But see, Esau have lifted you women up way above what you should be, man. You know, the pride of you women out this roof. Now, this video ain't about women, but lo and behold, who's on the screen crying? Who's doing uploading videos about, you know, them losing their job and getting emotional? Women. You know, women are going to suffer the most.
I guess everywhere is just not in a great place right now. So anyways, I'm taking this time to I just want to reflect and take some time for myself, because I haven't taken a vacation in a pretty long time. So maybe I'll do that, and I'll start my job search maybe in a week or two.
And let me say this, man. A job search in 2025 is not what a job search was in the 90s or the early 2000s. I remember a time in Babylon where you might be able to let a job go, quit a job, and have another job the next day. Believe it or not, you see in this place now, you'll never think that. But there used to be a time where you can quit a job the same day, and by tomorrow afternoon, you'll find a job. But see, that whole idea is gone now. That's why a lot of people are moving different now. You know, people ain't talking so proud now. You know, I remember, when I first came into this truth, I was listening to the guys down at, the Atlanta camp, Great Millstone Atlanta camp. And when they would give you warning about the times that we're in now, and lo and behold, we're here. Man, people will want to damn near fight because of their disagreement. If you'd have told niggas that this place gonna be destroyed, your jobs are gonna be lost, you're gonna experience a major financial cut. To them, it's like you speaking evil on me, man. And they will want to get physical. They'll get all in their emotions. But now, where's that same energy? Because niggas are crying. Niggas got their ears open now. The people ain't scoffing on that level. When you talk about a great destruction coming to this kingdom, a major job loss, food is going to be. People ain't opposed to that no more, man. A lot of people got their ears open to it because they starting to see now that, wait a minute, the men that were saying this 15, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, hell, shit is happening. I myself and the brothers that I teach with witnessed a young man maybe by in his early 20s, maybe 21, 22. This is during the time, when you had the rioting going on. People was, gearing up, going to like riot against, the system. Trump and all these other figures. He came to the camp and told me, man, you spoke about this, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. You spoke about this. So now people are a little bit more attentive. Why? Because all hell is breaking loose now. But you women are going to feel it the most because you prosper the most. You've been lifted up in this society. But the point is, everybody is going to feel it some kind of way. It just matter where your intentions are. What's your mindset? The worse it get. Are you going to look for the Lord to get you, through Jacob's trouble? Or are you going to cling on this system and go towards their agenda to giving you basically a source? A source, man. Because the source that they coming with is ungodly, is wicked. It's a wicked device. What they plan to do is what we always been saying week in and week out. Is to make you a permanent slave. They want you to, they set the stage for a major disaster and give you the solution as a trap, to set you in a trap. Right? And when you're put in a condition, see, they understand the logic of it. These devils' hearts are deep. If I starve you out long enough, then you'll give in to the agenda. But that's not going to be the spirit of the elect. It's about controlling your mind and your body, your physical body, with this devil. But the elect men are already programmed with this spirit, with this seal. They've been sealed with this knowledge. And there's nothing the enemy can do against a brother that's sealed or an elect lady. Let's go.
So, interesting thing happened to me today. So I woke up to a text message from my coworker saying, hey, have you seen that email for this mandatory restructuring meeting from, I don't know his name? And I was like, it's 8 o'clock. No, I have late meetings today, so Stacey's not going to get up this early because I was on the computer all night last night trying to get this project done for my clients. So I finally got up and went and looked. And yeah, it was a mandatory email. I've been at this company for over 10 years, y'all. 10 years I've been working for this company. I started from the bottom and worked my way up. 10 years. And today they laid us all off. They laid us all off. The whole delivery team, the training team.
Let's get a precept real quick. I want to go start with Isaiah 19 verse. Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they that have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. Neither, verse 15 is the point, neither should there be any work in Egypt which the head or the tail, branch or rush may do. From the top on down, there's not going to be any work because this place is facing economic disasters. Now, I've spoken about the tariffs. Also you have port controversy. Port, how we import and export goods in and out of America. That distribution is being disturbed with truckers abandoning the jobs because of pay, because of gas, because all different issues that it's difficult to do the job. And that's going to affect the numbers of how your food is imported. And it's going to be a hazardous, a safety situation, man. And the Americans are all morbidly obese. The food is fake. On many type of other conditions, man, it's going to bring sickness and disease, which is another sign that the Lord have plagued this place, man. Okay? Neither shall there be any work in Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. You see that? So there ain't going to be no work in Egypt. There ain't going to be no jobs. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women. A woman's nature is to be afraid, to be scared. Women are very fragile. This place is going to be likened unto a woman. Reading on, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies, which he shaketh over it. So the Lord hand, right? The hand of the Lord is upon this place. The Lord have fixed his eyes on this place for evil. This place is going to be likened unto women. Women are naturally afraid, man. I myself, man, walking down the street or walking to the grocery store, and I just see the fear on women. Women always think they're under attack. That's this place, man, spiritually. This place is getting hacked, okay? This place is getting, beat up all kind of ways, man. These elites are afraid, man. The people in this place are afraid, man. Let's go to Ecclesiastes real quick. I can start at 1 real quick. 1 is a good verse. Ecclesiastes 1 and 1. Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Wow, this is going to be a bad time. Okay, remember the Creator in the days of thy youth. Why? Because, hey, you want to seek the Lord now. You want to seek him now. You want to, pray and ask him to sustain you in the times to come if the Lord still got you here. Because the evil days is at hand. Tribulation is at hand. These people are about to be in a spirit of anguish. These people are about to be suffering. Why? Because it's going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. People got their mind fixed on things are going to get better. That's a false hope. This place ain't going to get no better. Ain't no more jobs coming. These elites have already sold you out. They've already sold you a lie. They have a plan against you, man. This place ain't getting better. You got people laboring hard, man, and getting nothing out of it, man. You know? I want to go down. Verse 2. I keep going in verse 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Verse 3. In that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders represent the workers. You ever see guys out doing construction and you hear that sound? Those are construction workers. That's the grinder, which represent jobs. The grinders cease because they are few. The jobs are being taken away, depleted, diminished. And those that look out of the window, the windows be darkened. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And, you look at the music industry now, that is basically crap. That's a sign of, the music being brought low. Crappy music, no job. That's a sign that this kingdom is on its way out. It's on life support. Crappy music, crappy jobs that are few, those are signs that this place is on its way out, man. And the majority can't see that. They can't, even though they see what's going on, they can't see the bigger picture because the Heavenly Father is not working with them. Let's go back.
The training team, the directors, and we have a new president that came in. Go figure, right? That came in about August, and I had a feeling this man was going to come in there and try to save money. And
they always do come in with the fresh MBAs. We cut costs, boost profits, and it's your job on the line, because the most expensive line item in any business is typically the overhead of having employees.
Mm-hmm.
Never sue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to...
The overhead of having employees.
And budgets and stuff like that. But it's like the clients that we have, Bristol Myers Squibb, we have Pfizer, we have Eli Lilly, we have, BMS, we have so many of these. I work for a pharmaceutical company and I do all their trainings and everything like that. And my client was Bristol Myers Squibb. And I was in the middle of this big thing right now. And just like that, it's just like, who does that? Like, you just woke up one day and said, oh, I'm going to lay off 300 people today because of budget cuts? What? I'm sorry, because you make millions of dollars, so you should go interfere in somebody else's lives? I mean, this is like a Fortune, you know how they say Fortune 500? This is a Fortune billion-dollar company, pharmaceutical company. And you need to make a budget cut and destroy other people's lives?
I just got laid off from my dream job. And this was the first place that I drove. I can't even sit still for 2 seconds.
Hey, not bad for a layoff recovery spot, right? The beach.
I don't even know how I would be unemployed. And yeah, while I want to work as a full-time creator, that's just not feasible right now. So now my 9 to 5, my main income is gone. And I'm so upset because for the first time I was finally happy. And I know budget cuts are hard, like I know that this is a rough time for everyone. Like, I was never expecting it. I literally got a text today saying jump on a meeting and I was laid off. Fired and laid off. I know it's different, but like the same kind of heartbreaking feeling. 10 minutes later I was gone. Everything that I've been working for was just done.
They just do not care. But as we always do, I want to go ahead and expose more of this problem because these are the personal stories, but there are some headlines that these people won't even get into. We're in the midst of a layoff epidemic that's spreading across industries with a frightening speed. Amazon is cutting up to 14,000 managerial positions. Google and Microsoft initiated fresh rounds of layoffs in their most profitable divisions. Tesla announced over 10% of its global workforce would be eliminated. Meta began 2025 by letting go of 3,600 employees branded as low performers. But the crisis extends far beyond tech. America's trucking industry, the backbone of our supply chain, is collapsing. Now, some people are blaming tariffs. Some people are saying it's Biden. Regardless, it's collapsing. Truck drivers nationwide are abandoning their rigs, fed up with empty ports, slashed routes, and rising fuel costs. What used to be one of the most dependable blue-collar jobs is now a high-risk hustle with a shrinking pay and no stability. But you got to listen to what these people are saying. They think that they're getting invited to friendly little meetings, you know, going over work, going over what's on the schedule, what's on the agenda. But what's actually happening is their jobs are being taken away. They're getting locked out of their emails. They're getting locked out of all their accounts. Or if you're a trucker, you're just getting no business whatsoever. The ports are empty. The rigs are being abandoned. You just can't do anything about it. People are getting laid off with no warnings, no explanations, and they're being told, just don't come back tomorrow. And they're treating these people as if they're not even human. I think people have gotten so used to talking to AI, they're starting to talk to people like they're computers, starting to treat them like they're just disposable. What we're witnessing is companies solely focusing on profit margins and stock prices while disregarding human costs. If you guys can relate to any of the stories or information shared here in this video, go ahead and give this video a like. And if you know somebody or yourself who's experienced a sudden layoff, go ahead and share your story in the comment section below. I believe that it might help others knowing that they're not alone and what they could do next.
So I got laid off from my job out of nowhere yesterday in the middle of my shift. It was a normal day. I was working, and then suddenly my function lead sends a message in chat, in the Teams chat, and says, hey, mandatory meeting in 15 minutes. And I was like, that's weird, but we've had meetings before. So as I log into the meeting and I'm waiting, I noticed that they started logging us out of like all of our work stuff. And as soon as I saw that, my heart sank because I kind of figured I knew what was next. So this
Hey, when you hear those mandatory meetings, man, you better start considering, you know, that factor, man, because that's how they do it. You know? And they're not going to give you the respect of they're going to come in the middle of your shift while you're working. You know, however they got to get it to you, man. But not typically it's through those mandatory meetings. You know, because you know, the job, you know, where I'm working at, they do the same process. And that's when you find out. You know? Shoot, you might just get a pink slip during a mandatory meeting, man. You know? So people are on eggshells. People are basically, America's fragile, you know? And people are getting, you know, tense, man. People are losing their mind. And these are the signs. These are the birth pains of great sorrow.
that I've never seen in my life hops on.
Why is it always some random bald man? That's crazy. I mean, it's not funny, but another woman literally just said that. It's like the same story.
Hops on the call and tells us like, hey, thank you for joining. Very saddened to say, but we are, you know, restructuring, blah, 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 and everyone is laid off effective immediately. It was like almost 200 people. And
200?
Woo! 200.
And
200 people that got laid off, man. And this is not just happening in one particular place. That's one particular places, man. You know, that's one particular place, man. That same thing is happening all over Babylon, man. So that's the Lord fulfilling prophecy, man. The second Ezra. I'm gonna end on that. Second Ezra 15th chapter. That we living in a time that shows you we don't have much longer here, man. You know.
we literally were told, like, that's it, you're done. Like, we didn't have to work for the rest of the day. Luckily, we're getting paid till Friday, but it was just like that, like literally nothing, no warning, no nothing.
They say the tariffs are affecting the ports.
There it is.
This is a video of the
there it is. You heard it. The tariffs are affecting the ports. Less shipping. Less trucks are moving. No freight is going out. And that will affect your local neighborhoods, your local shopping centers. Because Jake, chiefly, Jake is not paying attention, man. You know, Jake only care about local shit, man. They don't watch internationally to see how can they be affected. They don't know that what happens globally affects you locally. You know? So Jake mind is not wired on, they mind only go so far. But it's going to go directly to your step. More massive jobs, more massive layoffs. You know? Your local Walmarts are going to receive less shipping. And that's going to cause what? Uproar in the people. You know, I'm going to end with 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. But that's what's getting ready to happen very soon. On top of many other things. You know, race riots. Esau Edom pushing the concentration camps. The insurrection against the men that fear the Lord. And again, all of it is leading up to one major event, the missiles, man. The MOTB, and then right shortly after that, the missiles. Only a few prophecies before the Lord return, man.
tariffs affecting the ports, it says.
What y'all think? Are the tariffs slowing the ports down in California?
See a lot of containers.
Ports been quiet lately.
Wow.
Super quiet.
So if slowing down the ports, then, man, what are the unintended consequences of this?
Despite today's stronger than expected jobs report, some industries are starting to feel the belt tightening because of President Trump's tariffs, with hard hit.
Let me say this another thing, right? What you have. Not only that the ports are being affected by the tariffs, if they ain't got no trucks coming in, what do they need employees for? And not only that, online shopping is basically putting people out of jobs. These shopping services that they have online. This is why you go in an establishment and you only see maybe about 2 or 3 workers, 4 workers. You starting what in these major retail stores, you only see 2 cash registers open and everything else is, checking yourself out, what they call self-checkout. So this thing is getting ready to tune up, man. It's getting ready to turn up very soon, man.
Truckers taking another blow. Layoffs are beginning in the trucking industry as American ports are seeing a big drop in cargo ship arrivals, meaning less to haul across our country. NewsNation's Nancy Liu is live for us in Southern California, speaking to those affected. So, Nancy, what are they telling you?
Well, Nicole, we're hearing words like bad and dire and even crisis. We're standing next to a bunch of truck chassis because they're parked and they're not in use. And look on the other side there. They're stacked up, and in this truck.
Oh my goodness.
Truck yard alone, there are about 100 chassis stacked up because they don't need them. They're typically out on the roadways. Like everyone else along America's massive supply chain, truckers expect things to go from bad to worse.
This yard costs us money, this equipment costs us money, our chassis costs us money, our employees cost us money, electricity costs us money, right? So after 6 months, I would say we would be in pretty dire situations. And that's just us.
Man, let's get this last scripture, man. It's happening right before our eyes, man. It's happening. I'm going to end off on 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter. 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, the first verse. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people. Who the people? The Israelites is the people of the Lord. Okay? The words of prophecy. What? The word of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. And cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All the things you see happening in real time has been recorded on paper, man. For you wanted to think that the Most High word can't be in a book. You know? Ezra, prophesied of these times. The prophet Daniel prophesied of these times. You know, John the Revelator received visions about the times that we're in, the days that we're in now, man. You know? It say, fear not the imagination against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And that, you see all, the majority of you Israelites are clinging more and more to this system, man. Your unbelief is going to cause you to go wayward, go backwards. And you're going to end up in a situation where it's going to lead to your death. Okay, in the time of, trouble, you're going to see that seed help as a way out if you're not right in the spirit. And that's going to be your demise. That's going to be what separates you from salvation. Verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. That's the times we're in. Sword, famine, death, and destruction. The death toll is going to go up. Food is going to be rationing. And troops are going to be maneuvering through these streets, putting people to death. Women, whoever they got to put to death. This devil is the sword of the Lord, man, on the left-hand side. And a lot of you people can't see that. You're going to be running to these troops thinking they're going to help you. You're going to be running to these concentration camps thinking that that's the safe place to be. When you ran right to the trap. The scripture say my people are led, as sheep to the slaughterhouse, man. Jacob's very simple. They can't see the right way, man. The Lord blinded them. It say, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Okay? And that's the judgment of the Lord behind the wickedness of these niggas in Babylon, man. The work of this place, man. Because the Lord have a controversy with this place, man. The Lord his anger is going to be released on this place, man, called America, man, which is Babylon, I want to skip down real quick. Verse 12, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and punishment that the Most High shall bring. The Most High shall bring upon it. So that's the work of the Heavenly Father, man. When you see all these calamities breaking forth, the Lord is behind that. Judging, bringing forth judgments. The scriptures say every day he bringeth his judgments to light, man. He make his judgments happen every day. And things is going to go from bad to worse. People are about to be witnessing their family members, their children, dying right in front of them, man. Women are being ravished. Wild beasts is on the loose. No food. Food is being rationed. Little to no food. But what's going to happen? The Lord is going to sustain his prophets, his servants, in the time where there's no food pumping. We don't know how he's going to do it, but you got to trust the process. Just like Esau tell you to trust the science, trust the process. No, we trust in the Lord process. That's the mentality you got to have, man. Because if you run into the enemy for help, woe to them to go down to Egypt for their help, man. It say verse 14, 2 Ezra 15 and verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, nor the course of their actions should stand in their power. So all out disorder is coming, and there's going to be all kind of wars popping forth, man, breaking out, man, all type of wars. The people are going to take matter in their own hand because they're going to see the condition of what the Lord brought on this place, man, and they're going to bug out. They're going to lose their mind. People are going to be turning against each other. Friends are going to fight like enemies. You can't, the spirit of trust in Babylon is gone anyway. Nobody trusts each other here. Nobody trusts each other here, man. There's no, you see like how brothers in the truth got brotherly love towards each other. That same spirit ain't through the world, man. These niggas out here are like wild beasts towards each other, man. I'm going to end off on this scripture here. This is the main point of why I brought this scripture. Verse 16, verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's your martial law. That's your FEMA camps. That's the ban on getting on airplanes, traveling from country to country, state to state. All of that is going to be brought to an end, All of that is going to be brought to an end. You won't be able to do that very soon. Okay? He want to lock it down and lock you down. That's what this man want to do, man. The wicked one. You see this verse 19, I'm going to start at 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So it's going to be all out hell breaking loose in these major cities, man. Brothers are in the spirit of ditching these major cities, man. Because this is where most of the hell is going to be breaking loose. In these major cities where they have majority of Jake compacted up in these cities. Stacked on top of each other. They already jam-packed on top of each other. These cities are going to be troubled. The grocery stores are going to be disabled. Your banking system, the way you spend money, all of that is going to be disturbed. The cities are going to be extremely troubled, man. Because of the plagues that the Lord, sent forth. It say 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That spirit of love is already gone. People are loaded with all type of ammo and, weapons to defend themselves, man. And when things get nasty out here in Babylon, it's going to be a great bloodbath. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed because the want of the fruits of the field, the bread, the water, the thirst of water. But the Lord will protect his elect. Shalom.